So one of the things we always hear is to remain positive, right? We quite frequently hear positivity is important, always remain positive, think positive thoughts, all these things about positivity. And while I agree that it's good to think positive, you also have to understand that it can be a little bit of a trap depending on how you view things, right? Because you have to understand that, true change, when you have something in your life that you really want to change, you don't make changes unless you are in pain, right? If you are not in pain, you are not going to change. You have no reason to change. Pain is what forces change. So if we try to, paint this pretty picture, this false fantasy of things aren't as bad as they really are, you're giving yourself a reason not to change. If you feel like, well, even though deep down inside you hate everything about something, whether it's your job or whatever else in your life, if you absolutely cannot stand it, it literally makes you depressed and angry and resentful towards life, but then you convince yourself that it really isn't that bad, that you could do worse, that you just need to be positive about it and all that type of stuff, you're just giving yourself a reason not to change. All right, change happens through pain. And quite frankly, change only happens when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of change. Because anytime you want to make a big change, it's going to be painful, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be a very difficult thing to do. But that pain that you're in has to be greater than another pain. I think back in my life now, and I've kind of overhauled everything in the last few years. And if I had just convinced myself that, I didn't hate my job even though I did, if I convinced myself that I was in the right career path even though I wanted to do what I'm doing now, if I convinced myself that I didn't hate the Minnesota winters as much as I really did, I never would have made those changes. I never would have actually just gone all in and created the changes that I needed to, that I wanted to with my life. And it's because I was in pain. I changed because of pain. So you can't just always think positive thoughts are going to fix everything, all right? If you hate something in your life and you just say, well, it's actually pretty good, if you're convincing yourself that your feelings are not true, you're not really doing yourself much justice. You know where I'm coming from? And there's actually a research paper done on this. I actually have it here because I knew I would butcher this, sorry. So it actually comes from the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology. And it was in their conclusion, I believe, and it just basically said, the results indicate that one reason positive fantasies predict poor achievement is because they do not generate energy to pursue their desired future. And I totally agree with that. If you just paint a pretty picture, if you just create this fantasy in your head that things are not as bad as they really are, you're not going to achieve things. You're not going to do what you want in your life. You're not going to go after the things that you truly want. So if you really want to make some real changes in your life, if you don't like the way things are, embrace the way you feel. Your feelings are true because you're feeling them, right? You just need to actually embrace the pain and do something to change the pain. And if you just always allow yourself to feel like things aren't as bad as they really are, you're probably never going to make that change. All right? So I hope that doesn't get taken in the wrong way, because I do really like a positive message. Like my friend Pete with Born, he's always talking about positivity, and I love him and his channel, and it's great. But that's a different kind of positivity, all right? There's a difference between being positive and fake positivity. Hopefully that makes some sense. So go out there, embrace the pain, make some changes in your life, and do great things.